What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 12 of What's New in Kaiju. Joined again, once again, Leslie Chambers. What's going on, man? How we doing? How we doing this fine Wednesday evening?
Doing good, doing good. Even though today was like the first really hot day of 2026. Like we
Well,
talked, prior to us coming on live that, it was like 85 up there and where you were at in New York. It
yeah,
was
what
like
was it?
90 degrees down here in North Carolina. So yeah, I guess it's a taste of things to come because the summer months will be here before you know it. But as hot as it was outside, it's not nearly as hot as the Phantom is right now, considering what happened last night, which we'll talk about momentarily, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, thank you so much for being here for another edition of What's New in Kaiju. Um, Before we go any further, I want to just announce a little something that we're going to be doing because
Yes,
Kaiju
sir. Take it
Brooklyn is
away.
right around the corner. Yeah,
Yes, yes,
Kaiju Brooklyn
yes.
is right around the corner, and next month, the end of next month, and it's of course it's spearheaded by the one and the only awesome Robo Seven, aka John Bellotti Jr. So pretty much every episode of What's New in Kaiju every Wednesday here on Kaiju Live, to celebrate Robo Seven and John Bellotti Jr. and to create more hype for Kaiju Brooklyn because Kaiju Live is going to be there for the first time this year.
Yes, yes,
Representing.
yes. We got our corner
So to
table. Excited, excited.
Absolutely. No, you're good. And after, just to build hype for that, I'm going to sport a Robo 7, aka John Bellotti Jr. shirt pretty much every week until we get to Kaiju Brooklyn. And now I'm starting off with my favorite Gamera film of all time, coincidentally celebrating its 60th anniversary this year. Gamera versus Barugon. As you can see, this is the stunning artwork that Mr. John Bellotti Jr. made, for again my favorite Gamera film. He has pretty much everything that's so significant of the movie. Gamera flying, Gamera himself, rainbows, Barugan, just an awesome rendition of the my favorite
Yes,
again,
sir.
my favorite Gamera film, and arguably the best Gamera film from the Showa period. I know some people will say Gauss, maybe, ain't Super Monster. But yeah, I think a lot of people will agree that Gamma versus Baragon is the best from the Showa period. So I had to show some love to Robo 7 and John Bloody Jr., but you'll see a new shirt every week leading up into Kaiju Brooklyn.
And
So
we should be having John on, hopefully in the next couple weeks. We're trying to lock that down. But tonight, we're talking about. I think maybe you might have heard there was some news that happened yesterday. Maybe a little bit of a rumbling. It might have crossed your feed at some point during the day. Maybe not. Maybe you're under a rock. But CinemaCon was going down, and if you're not familiar with CinemaCon, it's basically where all the movie industry shows up to basically showcase their movies to the movie theaters and reps and all that jazz. It's basically a wonder fest of movies, if you will. And
hmm
obviously, one of the big ones that was announced was Godzilla Minus Zero, the first teaser trailer, and it dropped. And it might be the whole show. I mean, we're going to talk about Monarch episode 7 because, in my opinion, it was a great episode, and we'll get into that. But I mean, let's just deep dive one right out of the gate. Leslie, as a teaser, did this get you hype?
absolutely. As a teaser, um, before I go any further, let me give a huge shout out to people in the chat right fast. Rad Reptile, Frank,
Chris.
Sandra, what's going on, babe? Um, is it Julian? The tall 148. Um, so yeah, those are the only people I see. So thank you for being here. But yeah, that teaser did exactly what teasers are supposed to do. Um, it gets you hype for the movie, but it doesn't give away a lot of what's gonna be in the movie. It kind of like
Yeah.
follows a trend with Minus One and Shin Godzilla. If you notice, if you watch those trailers when it first came out, or even the main trailer or teasers, they only show you enough, but enough where you can't piece together what's going to happen, which is the direct opposite of the MonsterVerse that show you every single key thing, or
Yeah, I
they
know.
might misdirect you and thinking it's one movie, but you get something different. 2014. But I'm not here to bash the MonsterVerse. But yeah, as far as like a teaser that did its job, that got me hype and excited, Absolutely. Not excited to the point where I'm going to take the day off to go see it. I think that's dumb. I'm going to wait until Saturday when on my day off. I'm not using a vacation day to go to the local movie theater in spite of how awesome the film is. If you're doing that, good for you. But I mean,
Yeah, who would do that? It
yeah, who would
sounds
do
great.
that?
Who would do that? I guess
Yeah.
I won't tell Leslie about my plans. Kind of crazy people would do that. I don't know. Um,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
mystery, absolute mystery to me.
Mm, mm,
Um, but all right, so right out of the gate,
mm,
we are shown. I got so many theories that I want to run through right now. So
mm,
we have clearly two different versions of Godzilla in this trailer. We have the one that comes out of the water, which in my opinion is basically the new version of Super Godzilla, and Super Godzilla is now canon, which I can love, absolutely love it. And then we have the big ending where it is clearly the Godzilla Minus One design walking behind the Statue of Liberty. And so there are so many things we can go with right now. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with the old like it kind of got repurposed into Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, but it was Godzilla versus Ghost Godzilla, where there were two separate Godzillas and one of them was like an
oh yeah,
evil
absolutely. I know about
so
that.
yeah, so this could kind of be that possibly if one of these isn't an actual dream sequence. But yeah, what do you think about the potential of, because that was also rumored for the first movie that there were two Godzillas.
Hmm. Hmm.
So how do you feel, what's your take on that? Will we be seeing two different Godzillas? Well, what do you want to see? We getting Ghost Godzilla? The Ghost Godzilla storyline, is it finally manifesting here in 2026?
I mean, I make no bones about the fact that that is something that I wish Toho would do. I've always wanted to see them, like you just mentioned, with Godzilla versus Ghost Godzilla. You know, we kind of got teased with it in 1974. Um, but I've always wanted to see them do a story where Godzilla fights himself. The closest thing that we got to that concept is Space Godzilla, and I'm not gonna. That's the only thing I really admire that movie for. Everything else is kind of like a dumpster fire. But still, that's not truly Godzilla versus Godzilla. It's Godzilla versus a space demon oriented version of himself. I'm talking about the true
Yeah.
Godzilla versus the true Godzilla. I've always wanted to see that. Are we going to get that? I don't know. Honestly, I'm fine either way. I'm fine with what we get. At least we know it's kind of like confirmation of sorts that there's going to be another monster in this. So I'm fine with that. Uh, could it be Hedra? I'm fine with that. Could it be Anguirus? I'm fine with that. Could it be again another Godzilla? I'm fine with that. You know what? I would be even fine if this is another solo Godzilla film. You know what I'm saying? Like we barely got past the last one, so now we got this bigger one coming. I mean, again, granted, I mean I'm a fan of solo Godzilla film. Because the last one was just so good. Um, but I know they're gonna up the ante and bring another monster. But I'm just saying I wouldn't mind if it was another solo Godzilla film. As long as the movie's good and the story is good, it really doesn't matter if it's one monster, two, or 3,000. As long as the story and the movie is good, that really all that matters.
It would be
But that's
very
just me.
unique if it was a back-to-back solo Godzilla movies, because that's never happened,
Yeah,
right? That's
right.
never happened. It's always been
No.
they start the reboot with a solo movie, and then which sets the tone, or at least attempts to set the tone, and then the sequels always have some kind of rival monster or Mecha Godzilla usually or something like that. So that would be very interesting if this was the first
Yeah.
time they decided, nah, Godzilla's enough. We're just gonna give it two of them.
Yeah. I mean,
uh,
the closest thing we got to that is Shin Godzilla and Minus One, but they don't have anything to do with each other. They're not really sequels per se. Um, but yeah, I'm fine with whatever we're gonna get. I'm just gonna let Yamazaki cook. I'm just gonna let the man do his thing because he's obviously under a lot of pressure. Because Minus One did gangbusters, won an Oscar, really redefined and rejuvenated Godzilla as relates to outside fans. Of course, the MonsterVerse is still ongoing and that's still going strong. But
yeah,
Minus One really was the film that came and brought in outside fans. Where I've seen YouTubers that cover movies, and not really a Godzilla fan, but when Minus One came out, Minus One made a lot of their top 10 favorite films of 2023. And a lot of their comments was, man, I wish I was a Godzilla fan a long time ago. And I'm like, duh, yeah,
Yeah, you fucked
right,
up.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Now
So
everyone wants to be a fan. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
fucking
yeah. So
fake ass
so I think that
fans.
exactly. So I think that Yamazaki's under a lot of pressure to try to deliver even close to what Minus One was. If he is even 25% what Minus One was, that's still an accomplishment because sequels rarely outshine the original. There are some examples: Superman 2, The Godfather 2, Dark Knight, Jaws 2.
Come on, man. Jaws 2. You gotta bring that up right now. We're trying to have a good time.
I'm sorry, you know I had to say that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna just, and I know everybody's high right now. We're high up on loving the trailer and what we got, or whatever. But I'm still gonna try and temper my expectations. I'm still gonna be excited. But if something happens that does not go along with what I want, it is what it is. I'm not gonna use that as a reason not to like the movie, which I know a lot of people will do, unfortunately. But I'm gonna just let the man cook, let the man do his thing, and whatever happens, happens. That's how I'm looking at it.
So one of my favorite things about this and this particular shot right here is that they're actually filming this movie for IMAX,
Right.
which I don't think that they've ever done.
Hmm.
So we're getting a Japanese IMAX Godzilla movie, which, if there's anything you need to know about me, every movie I see is always an IMAX. I have no intention of
Oh,
not
really?
seeing an IMAX movie, whether it's a kid's movie or not, because my favorite thing about IMAX is everything is so loud that if some jackass decides to try to bring their underage kids or they're just a yapper who can't shut the fuck up during a movie, you don't hear them because the sound is so loud that it doesn't matter. So I will pay that
Right. Yeah.
extra amount for just knowing that the only thing I'm going to hear is what I'm seeing right in front of me. And so this could not be more excited to hear that it's an IMAX. And this shot, man, and I would love to play clips, but last time we played any clips from Toho,
You got shut down.
so we're just going to use stills. This scene in particular, I very much love just how realistic they continue to make Godzilla swimming. Like when he
Yeah.
swims and he comes out of the water, you could actually see like his head moving as if
Hmm.
like a fish, like he was trying to reach the surface as fast as possible. And just like
Hmm.
little details like that, I think is what made his vision of Godzilla just so terrifying, because he's really the first one that's put Godzilla back in the water and made him scary. And he continues to do that and use that aspect
Hmm.
of the character that seems to have, for the most part, been forgotten. Like even in the MonsterVerse, outside of 14, they don't really do much with him in the water anymore. Like when 14, when he showed up in Hawaii, it was like, holy shit. Like, okay. I think the Minus One series is where just bringing that fear factor of there is this giant creature in the water with you, that's
Hmm.
way scarier than Jaws 2. It's a terrifying thing. It's a terrifying thing.
Hmm.
But so this scene in particular, I mean, Godzilla's clearly bigger. And this is what's driving the potential of two Godzillas, because you can see right here. And then if we go to the Statue of Liberty shot, well, he's kind of
Yeah.
cropped out. Give me 1 second. You go to the Statue of Liberty shot here, you could
Hmm.
clearly tell that is the Minus One design. But
Absolutely.
now, another fun fact, though, the Godzilla from Minus One was 51 meters, if I'm correct. And the Statue of Liberty, which I believe 51 meters is like 150.
Like 164 feet.
Yeah, something like that. 120. He's big, but the Statue of Liberty is over 300 feet tall. So that means, what version of Godzilla actually is this? Because clearly he's getting bigger. So
Hmm.
are we going to be playing with so Godzilla's definitely got an upgrade in size. He's 300 feet plus, because we see this shot with the Statue of Liberty, whether this is a dream sequence or not. But this is clearly, definitely two different Godzillas. It's
Hmm.
honestly not even debatable. I can't see how you can't. One doesn't have crazy shoulder blades and all that stuff. Um, and then it does make me wonder where the story's going to go here. And I wonder what
Hmm.
your take about this, because they do show in this one shot, which this is the ending of Minus One, where they sink him and everything. And then there is
Hmm.
a U.S. bomber there. And the
Yeah,
teaser did open up with them talking about maybe we don't have to use it. And I'm pretty sure they're talking about
a
the
third
hydrogen
bomb.
bomb. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're talking about yeah. So very interesting to see if he does start out bigger as Minus One, and then the good old US of A comes in and nukes his ass, and now he's that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which could possibly be, a little bit of a play into what the Monsterverse does, where, they're like, all right, nuke him so he's good to go.
Hmm.
Okay. So it could see where this goes. I would love the Godzilla vs. Ghost Godzilla aspect. I think that would be incredible to see realized. One thing I will say that I'm not excited for, and I wonder where you stand on this. So here was one of the shots in the film. We get our pilot, our boy is back from the first film, ready to just, get absolutely
Fukushima
absolutely get tortured by Godzilla yet again for
again.
a second time. But apparently he's caught in some kind of wicked witch tornado portal thing here. Now, before I get into it, because I feel like I've just been talking a lot, Leslie, what is your take on this? What do you think this means? Is this another monster's ability? Is it a new Godzilla ability? What do you got?
I'm hoping it's going to be another Godzilla ability. Like some people have been speculating Ghidorah, and again, like I mentioned to you earlier in our private conversation, I think it's too soon to introduce Ghidorah at this point. Now I know they're trying to make it a little bit more lively in Minus One, but I don't think the universe is ready for something like Ghidorah just yet. And plus, Ghidorah's been done to death, so many different times. And this is coming from a King Ghidorah fan. But even I recognize that, there are other monsters and other things you can do besides going through break glass, Ghidorah, Mothra, Mechagodzilla, blah, 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 blah. So I think this is coming from Godzilla himself, in my opinion. Now, as far as the design, I want to at least talk about the design a little bit, the bigger one. I do like that he's bigger, kind of give me some Heisei vibes. I do like that. But I got a little bit of a pause because those shoulder plates gives me Evolve Godzilla vibes, and y'all know I'm not the biggest fan of Evolve Godzilla. I'm
Man, no.
sorry. That's just
Shoulder Godzilla plates should make you think of Super Godzilla. I don't care about Godzilla Evolved is what it is, but come on,
that's what
man.
I see. I'm sorry, and that
I see
just
Super Godzilla. That's
it
what I see.
doesn't even Super Godzilla. I'm not a big fan of like these giant
Oh,
plates, no
okay.
matter
All right.
how cool that they may look. So that kind of gives me some vibe, a bad vibe about that. But in regards to him being bulkier, I'm fine with that. I just hope it's not Heisei bulky like 93, 94 Godzilla, where he looks like he fell into a canyon of Doritos and chose the easy way out of it. But then again, this is
Yeah.
just one shot from this one point of view. Like we haven't seen a profile view or anything like that. This could be just way how he looks in this form. He could be well proportioned when we see the monster unobstructed. But as far as what I see here, I love how mean and pissed off he looks. If you thought the Minus One was pissed off looking, he was. This one takes it to another level, which I
Yeah.
didn't think that was possible. But yeah, here we are.
I
So
want to
that's my
bring
take
up
on that.
yeah, I mean, yeah, you hate Super Godzilla. That's all I heard. It breaks my heart. I think Doc brings up an interesting thing. Could Godzilla cells generate another Godzilla that keeps mutating and maybe becomes something else? Now that I like that, which again could be this technically. Like this is an offshoot, or maybe again the U.S. got cocky and dropped another bomb. Wouldn't be the first time in history for them to do that. So that could be really cool. That could be really cool. But I want to get back to what I think our good old this is. So I know it's not going to be this, but I want to dream here because we're all, we're all here together watching. We're all kaiju fans, most likely Toho fans that have watched a lot of the stuff within the Toho universe, not just Godzilla. Now, there's another monster way back to the Showa period that also had blue zero gravity powers, so you could say. Was it? I believe it's Ghidorah. Was that? Am I saying that correctly? The giant squid-like being that what destroyed the moon or some shit like that, right?
Dogora.
What is it? Dogora.
Dogora.
I was
Yeah.
close. I was
Yeah.
close.
Close.
But imagine that as a throwback. Like it doesn't have to be like a main thing. Just like it just shows up and does something cool like that. Kind of that'd be like the only thing. I know. I like to trash on the Millennium series, but the Millennium series dropping in like Kamimbas and stuff like that, I thought that was cool. Okay, I'll give it a little thumbs up for that. So that could be cool here. I don't think that's gonna happen. I just thought, wow, like could you imagine that deep cut of bringing that monster back for whatever purpose? I will say this for the Ghidorah fans. Was he a stage in the S? I don't think he was. For the Ghidorah fans out there, this obviously some kind of zero gravity thing. Ghidorah does gravity beams. Only thing that gives me pause here is it's blue, but I don't know. I will absolutely say if it's Ghidorah, my hype for this movie will go down significantly. I just don't want to see Ghidorah. I really don't. I would love. I don't. I'm way more into seeing Ghidorah or Anguirus. I am so locked in as hoping one of those appears in this new movie. I'm extremely disappointed Anguirus hasn't showed up in the MonsterVerse. Anguirus is like the perfect monster for the Hollow Earth. And his skeletons even was in King of the Monsters. So I just want my little boy. I just want him. Just give me Anguirus. Okay, I would like him to come back, but could be a new nuclear pulse. They give Godzilla the pulse back. This could be some kind of crazy version of it. Maybe it not only is it like nuclear, but it's I don't know. It does some crazy stuff. But yeah, Ghidorah would be a step down for me. I really don't want that. I really want another. I would much rather want Rodan if we're going like the core four. Like I don't want Mothra and Ghidorah. Just get what happened to Rodan? What happened to Anguirus? Shit, give me Titanosaurus. Give me anything. It's just not Ghidorah. Give me anything. But yeah, this is just a cool shot. And again, like Leslie pointed out in the very beginning of the show, this teaser does exactly what it's meant to do. It drums up hype. It gives you all these little things where you're like, what is that? Leaving to shows like this where we can talk about it and have some fun. But yeah, this was a very interesting shot from the trailer. I would like to point out Collider. This is why if you're watching, you shout out to Kaiju United. Definitely go to Kaiju United for your Godzilla news. Collider posted up an image, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, look at the new image from Collider." This isn't real, guys. This is AI. That is.
Oh my god!
You could tell it's AI, but Collider had posted this up as in a lot of people are thinking it's real. It is not. Because he's got like fangs there, and it's just this is not real. This is not real.
They're doing too much. They're doing too much.
Yeah. So if you saw this picture and was like, don't worry, that's not him. That's our boy. There he is. Yeah. There he is.
Yeah, I can't wait for more collectibles. But do me a favor, can you pull up the Statue of Liberty shot?
Absolutely.
Okay. And I floated this idea online earlier, and I got to thinking about this after the trailer,
Mm-hmm.
or this teaser dropped last night. And as relates to how the story is going to be structured, because at least in minus one, or in minus one, I should say, it was about post war anxiety. It was about PTSD. It was about how the country of Japan realized after the fact that we could have done better in terms of saving more lives for our soldiers, and all that was addressed. So I'm thinking that even though this might be more of an entertaining movie, maybe it's still trying to keep it the same vibe as Minus One. Is there going to be like a hard lesson that Yamazaki is going to try and embed in this movie? And
I think so.
By Godzilla here being in New York, or by the Statue of Liberty, New York, excuse me. And let's just speculate. That's all we're doing, really. Let's just
Of course.
speculate that this is not a dream sequence. It's not like a brief montage of shots of him going to global cities around the world and taking them out, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Let's
having a
just say he
nightmare.
does. Yeah. Let's say he does make landfall in New York, and he basically does to New York what he does to Ginza in Minus One. In my opinion, there's a certain facet to these stories involving Godzilla, at least the solo ones, where he's created. And a lot of times he's created by American means, like in the 54 film, or in Shin Godzilla, or in 2023. They dropped a bomb. Whether it was intentional or not, they inadvertently created Godzilla. And a lot of times in these movies, it's like America, I'm not trying to say this to be anti-American or anything like that, but I've always wanted to see them do a story where America kind of gets its um, held accountable for its role in creating the beast. And yes, I
Hold
already
on.
know about,
We're not allowed to be held accountable for anything. What are you talking about?
and that's the thing. Like that part of the story of Godzilla, at least its origin, is never really explored. At least it's not really emphasized to the point where America should be held accountable.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
it begs the question, why does, again, America inadvertently create Godzilla, but yet it's Japan is the one that suffers? So maybe this is Yamazaki's way of, having America, or at least New York, suffer along with Japan. And that wouldn't bother me if they chose to go that route. It's equivalent. I know this may be a crude analogy what I'm about to say, but let's just say I go to AJ's house and I use his bathroom, I blow it up and
Oh shit.
clog his plumbing,
Hmm.
and he finds out days later, that his plumbing system is all messed up. Meanwhile, I'm gone. Yeah, he
Yeah.
tells me, "Hey, man, you messed up my thing." I'm like, "Okay, you know." I mean, I caused the problem, but yet he has to deal with it. So that's what I'm trying to say. That's why I'm trying to see, will they tell that type of story, you know? And again, I already know about the atrocities that the Japanese people did, what Japan did as it relates to Pearl Harbor, which led to them, going against America, and we did what we did to stop the war in a swift way. I get all that. I understand that.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of these stories involving like Godzilla being created by American means, Japan is the one that suffers and suffers the consequences of that. But it seems like America is kind of like has their hands clean of that, even though
Yeah.
they're dirty in creating the monster. So that is a part of the story that I wish maybe they probably should go into, even though that may be uncomfortable, but I
See.
wouldn't mind seeing it.
Oh, I'm with you. But unfortunately, I don't think we ever will. I really do think there is absolutely marching orders for it to never be like you just can't show America in that context. Um, I mean, China has rules like that too. You know what I mean? Like, so I wouldn't be shocked if that's a thing because the MonsterVerse had a chance to do something. Like they introduced the oxygen destroyer. They introduced a lot of stuff, but instead of like using
It was
nukes
it
as
was throwaway. It was throwaway
yeah, it was
though.
a throwaway. I know, that's what I mean. But that's another very destructive thing that technically had no impact in the MonsterVerse. They dropped an oxygen destroyer, and like there's no build up to anything. There's no more fish. Fishing is scarce. Hunger. It had no ramifications of anything that happened in the storyline. Where again,
Yeah.
that could have been a huge plot point. It could have led to the destroyer. It could have, you could have had a lot of things to go with that. But on top of that, with the MonsterVerse as well, I mean, just look how they treated the nuclear bombs with Godzilla. Instead of, the nuclear power being this terrifying thing that can create things like Godzilla, it's used as a power up. you know,
And there's no
nothing
debate about
problem.
that. Like
Yeah,
there's no debate about like nobody's weighing the pros and cons of like what are we doing here? Yeah, we need to stop Ghidorah and we need Godzilla to do it. But again, blowing a
yeah.
nuke in his face, it's like nobody is weighing the moral question like what is right and wrong. And again, that's why I'm coming at this with the whole Godzilla appearing in New York. And yes, I know everybody's going crazy because Godzilla finally made it to New York, even though he appeared in '68. And yes, I do count Zilla as a version of Godzilla. He was in New York. But to actually see Godzilla intentionally, ruthlessly decimate New York or an American city like he does a Japanese city, it's something we'd never really seen before. Because even the '98 Godzilla, he destroys New York, but it's mostly because of him being a big creature in a confined space. He's not willingly coming to kill people and destroy things, and we never really seen that before, except for that destroy all monsters thing. But that was like a brief thing. But a long sequence where we see this Godzilla, this angry Godzilla, take out New York with the same ferocity as he did Ginza. Yeah, I'm cool with that. You
Oh
know,
yeah, I think
so
it would be. It has a chance to be epic. And right now
mhm.
we got 20 people watching. I want to thank you all so much for spending your Wednesday night with us. Every night, Wednesday night, what's new in Kaiju? And we've also been doing some incredible new stuff thanks to Leslie starting this masterclass series, which if you haven't watched, we've had unbelievable guests so far with Doc Mack from Galloping Ghost, as well as Greg Betters from Betters Creations, who's been doing fantastic paint work on a lot of the Ghost kits and kits in general.
Mhm.
So definitely, we have a lot lined up. So make
Oh
sure
yeah,
you smash that subscribe button, hit that like
please,
button, and
please.
keep joining us for the ride because we're gonna be there's gonna be a lot of content coming your way. But I want to talk about this. Is this you?
Mhm.
Is this you on the
What?
screen?
What is that?
Let me read this to you. The upcoming film Godzilla Minus Zero will mark Godzilla's first cinematic time in New York since 1968's Destroy All Monsters, and then it cuts to a Lisa-esque character. But what about first time since 1968? We know what this is taking a dig at,
Yeah, yeah.
which I
And
love
I
it.
get it.
I love stuff
I
like
get
this.
it.
It's so much fun
I get it. I get it. But
because
again,
there
I've been one of
is
these
still
people
a whole section of the community that just refuses
won't
to
won't acknowledge
acknowledge
the '98 Godzilla
Godzilla,
or acknowledge it.
Zilla, or
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
yeah. And to me, and honestly, I wish I had that superpower. I wish I could live in an alternate reality where I can create things and make things happen in my head and try to make it my reality. But that's not the real world, ladies and gentlemen. 1998 Godzilla happened. You ain't got to like it to not acknowledge that it did happen. It did. But I mean, that's another story for another time.
I am
But
pretty
still, like
shocked. Sorry, continue.
no, but still, I mean, I get it. Once I saw that shot of Godzilla in New York, apparently with the Statue of Liberty, I already knew that the daggone '98 comparisons or disregard, I should say, was going to happen. It's kind of like part of the course when it comes to this fandom. But I'm taking it for what it is. And again, if this is going to be just a full blown sequence of Godzilla in New York, an extensive one, which we've never really seen before, that right there is intriguing in and of itself. Who's to say New
Yes.
York is going to be? Who's to say New York is going to be the only American city that he visits? You
Yeah.
never know.
No, I know, but
So
I I'm absolutely stoked for this. I hope it's not a dream sequence. I really do hope it's real, and we're getting something very Godzilla esque finally in New York. I'm also been very surprised that the MonsterVerse has not entered New York. That Godzilla has not come across New York at all. And
yeah, that's right. He
he's
never
actually
has.
showing up in Japan more thanks to Monarch in a dream sequence than he has in New York. He's just so pretty crazy to think that Godzilla has not come to New York since '98.
You know what?
With all these like you would Final Wars would be the closest thing, but it wasn't Godzilla. It was Rodan with
You know what?
the pimp in the
Now
street,
that you
baby.
now that you brought it up, it does feel kind of weird why the MonsterVerse Godzilla has not gone to more, I guess the bigger cities. Now, don't get me wrong. This is no disrespect to San Francisco or Boston. But when I found out that he was going to be in those cities in those movies, I'm like, he couldn't be in LA or New York or even Chicago. Why Boston and San Francisco? Again, I'm not picking on those cities, but I thought with the American Godzilla, he would probably be in a more and a bigger city that America is known for. Because we think of America, you think of the biggest cities, you think of New York, LA, and Chicago.
Yep. I
Maybe Boston, San Francisco is like on the tail end of that, but yeah,
I
you're
mean,
right.
I liked it at first because like I didn't want it because New York is just so New York's always like the one of the main cities in so many movies. So I get it.
Hmm.
But it's just shocking that never has happened throughout all of the MonsterVerse content that we've gotten,
Hmm.
where he at
Yeah,
least just even a background scene or anything like him just
yeah.
strolling by New York somehow has been like, we're good, we're Titan free, baby, in the MonsterVerse.
Hmm.
But I would like to point out that everyone's like, oh, Godzilla's coming to your city. No, no, like you don't understand. You don't understand how much this could mean if this is actually a real sequence and actually happens. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
this could be. I will never. Everyone wants to talk crap about '98 or whatnot. There was no. I will never forget the time of my life being a kid when that movie was coming out, and everywhere you went, you saw Godzilla. I remember we would drive. Dad and I were driving down the LIE, and there was a billboard on one side and the on both sides of the LIE from both sides, and it's like his tail extends from here to here, and like there were
Yeah,
all
yeah.
these things just trying to show you. Then the marketing for '98 as a kid, even though I didn't really like the design much, I really liked the movie, but the marketing for that in the city was incredible. And if this can bring any of that back to the hype of Godzilla in New York, man, I will. Let's go. Then that would override Ghidorah being in the movie for me, honestly. If Ghidorah
Yeah.
ends up being
Yeah, you can say what you want about the '98 film and how
Quiero
poorly it
Taco
depicts the
Bell.
character of Godzilla, but the one thing you can't say is like they marketed the shit out of that thing. Like
Oh
they
yeah,
went full bore with the marketing, and I thought that was like one of the best things about the movie, like the marketing, the trailers, everything leading up to the monster coming on screen was great. After that, it just went
yeah,
downhill. But
it,
but the
yeah.
market was great,
The
superb.
the third act of that movie just kind of kills him, man, with the baby raptors. And I do think if they just would have gave him green fire breath like the animated series in the movie, oh, it would have been more accepted. But the fact he didn't have that, I think that was really the icing on the cake for a lot of people not originally accepting the design, because it really wasn't until the animated series where you're like, oh, well, if it's that, I'd love that. What is that?
Hmm.
um, but yeah, Chris and Doc Wanda are all talking about it. The marketing for '98 was crazy. I remember if the world was ending, right, and in some magical way this shit all became real, maybe I'm crazy. I would not run away. I would absolutely be like, this is the greatest way to die. And I would just want to see it happen and just accept it.
My God. Okay.
Are you? Come on. Am I? Anyone else? We got people watching. Anyone else feel that way? If giant monsters actually existed, or if a King Ghidorah X thing came down, would you bother hiding, or just be like, you know what? I can't think of a better way to go. No, just me. All right, that's fine.
I kind of like my head the way it is. But hey, I'll be at your funeral and like, well, he was a good man to that very end. So
Yeah, yeah. Um,
like I loved you.
yeah. I'll recreate the greatest scene from Godzilla 2000 and just be like Godzilla on top of the
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I'll do. I'll go out that way.
yeah,
That's how I'd want to go.
yeah, yeah. Either way, Minus Zero, looking forward to it. Again, I know we're gonna probably get a trailer probably in the summer, maybe around maybe Comic Cons or maybe G Fest. You never know, but either way, it was enough to keep me excited, and can't wait till November 7th. 'Cause that's when I'm seeing it. I know everybody else gonna see it on the 6th, but
Yeah, I
yeah, either
can't wait.
way, I'm hyped for it. Can't wait.
But now let's jump into the second half of the show. Although we might wrap it up quick because I think we went on pretty long about that, which I'm cool with. I mean, that's the trailer was hype, rightfully so.
Hmm.
But let's get to the haters of fucking Monarch, shall we? I am so sick and tired of every time an episode comes out, everyone's gonna
Mm.
whine and complain. There's no monsters. When is Godzilla showing up? What is this drama? Look, I'll give you that for season one. A lot of the drama in season one's bad, outside of the
Hmm.
Russells. Season two is a massive step up, and I will say that episode 7, so far out of season 2, is the best episode of the series for me.
Oh, you think it's the
I
best? Okay.
Yes, I thought the weight and the character development and honestly just the acting from Wyatt in particular, but I could literally watch Kurt and Wyatt talk to themselves for an entire season. The whole like I was so into that, and then finally they're giving like Kate actually took a huge step up in her character where I was like, holy shit, this is the first time I don't want her to just get off the screen. I was actually interested in what her and Keiko were
Wow.
doing. I've been a
Yeah.
Kate hater. Kate has been absolutely the one character I just don't really enjoy, and this was the first
Hmm.
episode where one I felt like the actress was finally able to actually show off her skills a little bit. I just thought this was a big step up for her character, and I'm excited
Right.
for that
Yeah.
because I really have hated her for quite a while. Very
Hmm.
curious to see where the Kentaro Walter
Isabel.
Simmons, is that her name? The daughter Isabel,
Is
where that's
Isabel.
going.
We thought it was Maya, but we found out that Maya is her younger sister. So
Wait, what?
Maya is the remember the girl in Godzilla versus Kong that comes aboard the ship as a transporting Kong off the island who represents Apex. The
Okay,
one,
okay.
yeah, that is the younger sister that Isabel was talking about.
Okay.
See, that's how they're fleshing out the stories because that's what we thought when she introduced herself to Kentaro in the last episode. Like, oh, she's Walter Simmons' daughter, the guy who runs Apex, who built Mechagodzilla, right? But we
Mm,
thought it was her from Godzilla vs. Kong, but she's actually the sister of the
gotcha.
character in Godzilla vs. Kong.
But yeah, very sure, very curious to see where that's headed because I don't really get a read on her. I feel like she's doing something mischievous, but I can't. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah,
Like I wonder
yeah,
is she actually the one that's building Mechagodzilla? Because she seems like she doesn't have good intentions, right? Like I don't
yeah.
know. Like that could be
Yeah,
the
the
curveball.
vibe from
Is
her is not good. The vibe from her, I feel. Now, granted, her and Kentaro they do share the same type of motivations where she can't stand Apex. He's not fond of Monarch. They feel like both of those organizations has basically turned their lives upside down and not for the better. So
yeah,
I can understand why, she would recruit him. But I'm intrigued as to what it is that she needs him specifically to help her with. Now,
yeah,
is it something involving Mechagodzilla, or maybe it's something that may carry over to possibly season 3?
yeah,
You never know. But I agree with you, man. Like this episode was really, really good. Even though I did enjoy it, I would still call it a filler episode because nothing really major happened that advances the overall story of the season. But that doesn't mean that nothing good came out of this episode. There were four stories going on at the exact same time. We talked about Isabel and Kentaro, Kate and Keiko bonding more with each other and trying to establish, at least trying to find out more of Kate's relationship with Titan X. Then you have May rejoining Monarch and trying to figure out what the Apex operation did to Titan X. And of course, the big story where both Shaws come in contact with each other. And I thought that was really a clever way of having them interact with each other without being in the same space at the same time. Because when I found out again that both Wyatt and Kurt Russell was going to be in this show playing the same character, I thought, is there a way we can get them to interact with each other? That is the best way you can do it without actually blowing up the reality of the show.
Mm.
but that was the best moment and the most emotional moment I think thus far in the entirety of both
Oh,
seasons.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? And
100%
the
agree.
fact is like, because I felt it, like I felt that I got to the point where I almost cried. I ain't gonna lie. But the fact that the older Shaw is talking to the younger Shaw, and the younger Shaw sees Keiko, and the older Shaw is telling him like, "Look, if you interfere right now, we don't know what's gonna happen." Meanwhile, the younger Shaw sees the love, basically the girl, the woman he loves that he thought he lost at one time, and he's like, and the look on his face is just
Oh, yeah.
heartbreaking. It's like,
He,
if that was Kelly or if that was Sandra, I don't know. I think the world would be fucked. I would have probably ran over there and just like, because you see the woman that you love in a
yeah, man.
hostile environment that you never know that a monster gonna come out and eat her up by herself, and it's like you're being told just let her go. Like, oh my god, the look
Yeah,
on his face when Shaw, the older Shaw, told him to let her go. That was,
yeah,
man, I couldn't have done it.
The acting from Wyatt in this episode was incredible. Not only that part too, but then also the scene a little bit before it where he realizes he's talking to himself, and like that sudden panic on his face that he thinks he's losing his mind. Like,
Hmm.
just phenomenal. Again, the Russells. I will say this: as much as I am enjoying season 2, if it was not for the Russells, I think this show would be dog shit. I will say that. But they are so good. Their characters are so good that any flaws or any less non-monster action, I don't care. I think
Me
they
either.
are so
Me
good
either.
that I think the finale is going to be very similar to episode 1. Episode 1, we got a lot of monster action, which I think ramped up people a little too much, myself included. I won't lie about that.
Yeah.
I wishing there was a little bit more stuff, but again, the story is so much better this time that I won't dare say that this was a filler episode. I won't drop the F-bomb on it. I think this advanced a lot of the character.
Yeah, you're right. You're right
Just
about that.
from with Kurt Russell, he just knows that he's a soldier and he will follow orders. So he breaks it down to himself in a way that he knows his older self will make the right decision. It's just awesome.
Absolutely. And I
So
think
awesome.
also, even though this is a fantasy type of situation, it's kind of impossible. It is impossible. But I think we've all been there where we like, you know what, if I had a chance to talk to my younger self, like, hey, don't do this, don't go in that place. I think we've all had that type of
Yeah.
fantasy scenario in our minds. So but the fact you see this happening and play out between basically the two most interesting characters, well, at least the two sides of
Oh,
one of the most interesting
yeah.
character on the show. Again, I thought it
Yeah.
was real clever to have them both interact without them being in the same place at the same time. I thought it preserved the reality of the show without going too far
Yeah.
out of limits with it. And it's still all of that. You come away from it more emotional. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that, but yet here we are. Even at the very end, when he says, to when oldest Lee says the younger Lee, when the transmission starts to fade, he's like, so long. But yet, it's like it makes you think like it's two different people, but it's one person. But it's still
Yeah.
so emotional that you just don't care,
Yeah. It was
and you're
great.
not marking time when a monster's going to show up. So that's the beauty of this episode. At least that's how we feel. I know a lot of people don't feel
Oh
the same
yeah,
way.
it gets a lot of hate,
You
but
know.
I don't know. I just very similar to like minus one, man, in the
Hmm.
aspect of like Godzilla doesn't need to be on the screen for the entire duration for it to be good. And this for
Absolutely.
Monarch was one of those episodes where, for me, 90% of like everything that was happening on the screen, the one character I really don't like, May is just whatever for me right now. Like I almost feel like they're about to sideline her, which kind of sucks because I feel like her character was just getting interesting.
Yeah.
Um, and now I'm not kind of sure what's gonna happen, but Chris brings up a good possible thing with Kentaro and Walter Simmons's daughter that thinks it might do something with time travel, which would make sense because that's kind of what he was working on with his dad to
Oh,
bring
okay.
back. So yeah, I could definitely see that happening. That'd be pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Although I
But
wonder what it would actually lead to, because we really haven't seen anything time travel related in any of the other movies. Although it could explain how all of their tech is crazy,
yeah,
because like
the only time,
the tech jump from like 14 to Godzilla vs Kong is like wild.
hell,
Like,
the tech jump between 2014 and 2019 is like, okay,
yeah.
when did y'all became like
Well,
y'all
that's what I
got
mean. Like
y'all?
maybe this is how they do it somehow.
Yeah, like
That would,
y'all are a minus organization. It seems like in 2014, but by 2019 you're Shield. How did that happen?
yeah.
Again, I love King of the Monsters, but that's one of the questions. I'm like, when did y'all raise the money to do all this stuff? But again, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I mean, I enjoyed the episode. I still would call it filler because I outside of the character
It hurt.
development,
It
it wasn't
hurts.
really anything that really pushed the overall story, you know. At least in
Yeah.
the next episode, I think Godzilla's coming back for the next one. So I think Godzilla and Titan X finally gonna show down in the next episode, which
Yeah. I think so.
which is kind of funny to me because that means we're possibly looking at a scenario that Titan X will fight Godzilla, but somehow get past him. But then Kong will be the one to either subdue Titan X or bring her down or something like that. Because I don't see Godzilla and Kong teaming up at the end. Like I really
No,
don't think that's
yeah.
going to happen.
I think
But
Godzilla is gonna win, and she's gonna flee, or they're going to somehow, she's trying to migrate back, right? That's the whole thing that they're trying to figure out.
hmm
Like she's off course. So I think Godzilla is gonna show up. I think they're gonna battle it out. I think Titan X is gonna end up either getting defeated or just running, like because I don't think she doesn't seem to be like a malicious hunter or anything like that. Like I don't think she wants to even be there. So when Godzilla shows up, she might be like, "Fuck this shit. I'm not here for
hmm
this. I'm trying to go back to my home, man. Just leave me alone." um,
yeah,
and I think to get back to Access Monday, I'm gonna guess she has to go back to Skull Island, which will
Skull
probably lead us
Island,
back to our finale, where
where Kong will be
uh,
waiting.
where
So
Kong will be there, and there will be another big battle. But oh man, Godzilla fans, did you hear that? Godzilla's probably not going to be in the finale. Can you handle that? Are you okay? Let us know in the chat.
or what if, like I said, what if Titan X fights Godzilla to a draw, where there's neither a winner? But this is the MonsterVerse Godzilla. This is like
I
the
would like
best
that,
thing in the
honestly.
world.
Godzilla can't win every goddamn fight. Like,
Really?
and he's not evolved. Like, and
Say that again for the
well,
people in the back.
no, I'm sorry, but he'll always beat Kong's ass. Don't worry about that. But he can't, doesn't have to win every fight.
But say it again. Godzilla can't win every fight, right?
Yeah, I mean, Mothra's
Say
kicked his ass for all of eternity. Godzilla's never beat Mothra. Ever.
yeah, that's true.
Not even an adult. Not even adult
He
form.
did.
Adult
He
form
did.
doesn't even.
In 1964, he did. In 2003, he did. But it's the larva he can't
Yeah,
beat.
yeah, that's
Oh
right.
my
Yeah,
God. Did I make it worse? Did I make it worse for Godzilla
exactly.
fans
Yeah,
by saying that?
the fucking the things that just came out and were like, look, I'm alive. Oh, I could beat that fucking thing, no problem. Like it's crazy.
And then the MonsterVerse Mothra makes Godzilla like a hand-pecked husband. As soon as she shows up, he's like,
Yeah, he's like, oh, all right, I'll play nice
I'm
with
sorry, I'm not trying
Kong.
to make it worse, Godzilla fans. Who's on Team
No,
Godzilla? I'm sorry.
I do actually like that. That is probably my favorite thing about the MonsterVerse is creating that kind of pact or relationship or symbiotic relationship, however you want to do it. I do like that change. I just wish we got Godzilla fighting Rodan. That would probably be if there's one thing, if the MonsterVerse ends and we don't eventually get Godzilla versus Rodan, I'm gonna be pissed. Honestly, that's one of the greatest, you know,
Rodan bowing
rivalry.
just killed that for me. I'm like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I
Rodan
wasn't a
bowing.
big
I'm
fan of that.
sorry. That was one of the biggest blunders ever. Again, Rodan is like that redheaded stepchild when it comes to Mechagodzilla, Godzilla, Ghidorah, Mothra. Rodan is the one that just ugh. No logo yet from Toho. Oh my God, it's a shame. But you know what? we'll do a deep dive into Rodan on Kaiju Live at some point. We'll talk
Yes,
about
yes.
his highs, his lows. It seems like there's more lows and highs, but still, we'll cover Rodan before the year is out because he does turn 70 this year. But it seems like they're making a
It's
big
crazy.
deal out of Mothra for her 65th anniversary,
She's the
which is an
queen, man.
odd number, but yet Rodan is like,
She's the queen. She
oh
brings the girls, the female demographic to the seats. That's what Mothra does.
yeah,
That's what Mothra does.
but
Because usually when they get the fairies, they usually go out and hire like the most popular pop star. Like that's just what they usually do for the most,
yeah,
you know.
pretty
So
much,
that's what Mothra
yeah.
brings all the boys to the yard.
And I get that, but I still feel like they shouldn't. I feel like they shouldn't ignore Rodan in the process either, because Rodan has been a part of some of the best kaiju movies of all time. Hell, even the original Rodan. I see some people
Yeah,
call that a better kaiju film than the original Godzilla, and they're not wrong when they say that,
yeah, no.
because Rodan is
Original
not only
Rodan's
just
awesome, awesome.
Rodan is not just it's not only a kaiju film, but it's a sci-fi film, it's a disaster film, it's a horror film. Like again, more respect needs to be devoted towards Rodan. I don't know why Toho won't do it.
And another
I
perfect monster for the Hollow Earth. The more
right.
dinosaur-esque monsters, like they all fit the Hollow Earth. I am absolutely shocked that, and I get it, it's a licensing thing. But you already brought Rodan in, so it's hard for me to like feel that the whole universe is still connected. Where again, King of the Monsters revealed how many Titans, right? Like there was that whole map. What was it, like 14 or 8? I don't even know. It was a lot, and we've really barely seen any glimpses of them. And what always upsets me is like I thought when they introduced the Hollow Earth, that's how you were gonna populate the Hollow Earth. Like you'd see a herd of behemoths, like stuff like that, and yet none of these monsters are even down there. it's just it's just Kong.
Just these,
Like it's just a bunch of all the giant apes and stuff. It's like where and then like
yeah,
Doug, you got Doug and gorillas, and that's
that,
it. There's
yeah,
nothing else
just
in the Hollow Earth.
yeah, and that weird fish monster that was in the lake that Kong dissected. It's like you have all these generic. I mean, the
Yeah,
designs look
yeah.
cool, but there's nothing really, no name value, marquee value with these monsters. They're just there to soak up screen time. But the fact that Rodan again, he had a cool ass entrance in King of the Monsters, but after that it just went
I mean,
downhill, which
to
is
me that
indicative
design's
of how he
incredible.
was. Yeah, which is indicative of how he's been treated over the years. Like they peaked in the Showa, but ever since then it's been like a downhill decline.
Well, at least he went
Ever
right at
since.
Ghidorah. I respect him for that. Ghidorah was like literally twice his size, and he was like going in. Then he got
Yeah.
his ass kicked and was like, "Okay, my bad."
Then he got defeated by Mothra, who ends up dying, and then he ends up bound to Godzilla at the end. I'm like, really? Like you could, like you might well just piss in his mouth at this point. It was just ugh.
So, yeah, I would also I think an awesome thing to see would be Kong versus Rodan, because that's also a throwback to the
That's
original
another one.
Kong. Kong fights the pterodon and everything like that. So like it would. I'm just so disappointed that we have not seen that fight and just Rodan in
That's
general
the
in the
thing.
MonsterVerse. Even when we got
I love the MonsterVerse.
The Iron
Yes,
Dragon in season 1 of Monarch, I was like, why can't that be Rodan?
Rodan.
A
Yes,
baby Rodan. It doesn't need to be, huge if you want to keep the scale of the Iron Dragon. Like,
yes.
I would have loved that. Loved that.
And I love the MonsterVerse. Y'all know that, but there are times where I just sometimes condemn them for not making most of the monsters that they have under their umbrella all at the same time. King Kong, Godzilla, Ghidorah, Mothra, Rodan, Mechagodzilla. If you ask me how I think they treated these monsters, put them all together in different scenarios, it's more of a thumbs down than a thumbs up for me. And I still love
But
the MonsterVerse, but they could have done a whole lot more by having all these monsters together all together at one time.
which
But they haven't.
Chris brings up in the chat, it happened in the DC comics. The only way to really see the MonsterVerse like in its full thing is if you pick up the Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong comics,
Oh, okay. Okay.
which is still really cool.
Okay.
But I think Kong one punches Rodan though, so Rodan still gets no respect even in the comics.
Oh wow.
Kong was just like,
I'm a
get the
Kong fan.
fuck out of
I'm
here.
a Kong fan, but even I am not a fan of that. I mean, I just want more love devoted towards Rodan.
Yeah,
So
for
if
sure.
Toe's not gonna do it, then damn it, we're gonna do it. Frank's in the chat. He loves Rodan. We're gonna do it. We're gonna show
Hell yeah.
Rodan some love. He deserves it. So,
Absolutely.
but, but can't wait till Monarch in a couple days. Again, Godzilla's gonna finally come back again in another dream sequence. So don't. So
Yes,
put your
yes, exactly.
pitchforks down,
What we're
ladies and
actually
gentlemen.
gonna see is happening in real time.
Right. So after that, we got 2 more episodes, and then that's it, which carries over into May. Again, Kaiju Brooklyn. Then the summer starts. Then it carries over into G Fest, Comic Cons. Maybe by then we'll have a trailer for Minus Zero. And
Do
then
you,
this 7 months is going to go by fast. And Minus Zero is going to be here just like that before you know it. So then on top of that, they got to build hype for Supernova. So as again, Kaiju fans, we're good. Like
oh
we're
yeah,
good for the next
Ian,
several
real good.
months.
Ian, real
Yeah.
good. And
So
even this director, I believe he has an American movie coming out, and I believe he's using mechs. I don't know the
okay.
full story, but and then
From
also
Yamazaki.
yeah, and then there's also a Voltron movie coming
Yeah,
out. I mean,
Grand Gear, I think. It's called
yes.
Grand Gear, I think. I saw that. Yeah. Okay. Well,
So
good for him.
yeah, we Tokusatsu fans, we eating great.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Eating real good.
what
But
was I
yeah,
gonna say? I
can't
had
wait.
one more. Oh,
Can't wait for anything.
do you want to tease some of the upcoming guests we have? Again, we don't have dates. Just
Oh yeah.
or do you want to wait? Do you want to wait? Do you want to?
I'll tell you what. I'll spill the beans on at least two of them.
Okay.
Um, I locked in. John Ruffin. He's gonna come back. We're gonna do 3 different shows with him. Examining one is examining is again
No,
the
you
show
don't, you don't
period.
gotta tell them the whole thing. Just the
The
guest.
whole thing? Okay.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Okay.
just the
John
guest.
Ruffins coming back.
It's
John
a
Ruffins coming
mystery,
back
like
for
a
three
teaser.
different shows. Okay. John Ruffins coming back for 3 different shows. And he's like a gold mine of knowledge and wisdom. So we'd love to have him back. Not to mention his photography is the best in the world. And
That's
also we're gonna
pretty
do a
much it.
kaiju master class with Mark Sang Yang.
Can't
You've
wait.
seen his
That's gonna be
work
awesome,
many
dude.
times, in my collection, and to kind of build on the series, with Greg and Dot Mac and and Mark Yang. But one more thing, Dope Pope, Dope Pope, he wants to come aboard for Kaiju Masterclass. So we got some great stuff coming for y'all in the next several months here on Kaiju Live. So deep
As
dive
well as
discussions, masterclass,
yeah,
unboxings. Like just again, smash that subscribe button, and you're in for a real treat.
yes. But I think that about wraps it up. Do you want to talk Daredevil real quick? You gotta go.
I haven't seen it yet. I know what happened, but I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
I can't really talk
I was
about it.
talking to you this morning as if you've seen it. Oh my god. You
No,
can't
no,
ask me
because when I
questions
woke
like
up this
that and be
morning,
like, oh,
no, because 'cause when I woke up this morning, I saw like vague images of that
oh.
situation, and I ain't seen it yet.
I
Because
thought you watched it.
no, because Ashley Sanders out of town right now, right? And we normally watch Daredevil together.
Hmm.
And so this weekend when she comes back, we're gonna watch Daredevil. But yeah, but when I saw those images, I'm like, wait a minute, did that happen? That's why I asked you about it, so
Oh
but
well, the next episode is just as good, man, in a different way. Um, yeah,
that's why I
it's gonna
said
be
I
great.
may not come to New York now because if what I saw is what I saw between Godzilla and Wilson Fisk, I no, I prefer I'll just watch Kaiju Booking from my phone.
Speaking of,
There you
but
go.
yeah,
Robo
we'll
7,
be
baby.
having Robo 7 on at some point. We gotta lock that down. I'm also trying to get Ultrazilla on because he does a lot of the stuff at the panels at Kaiju Brooklyn, a big part of it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
another person we locked in, we didn't mention, Nikolai from Iconic Repaints will also be joining us at some point.
Hmm.
I'm excited, man. It's gonna be the next 2 years of Godzilla stuff. Like it's exciting, man. It's exciting between
Absolutely.
the shows we got, doing all the guests. I just is what I love about this fandom. There's a lot of toxic shit about a lot of fandoms and all that stuff, but here at Kaiju Live, we like to try to just find most of the positivity. Unless it's the Millennium series, then you'll get a lot of shit from me. But other than that,
No, no, no. You better say something good about GMK.
well, no, that's the outliner. I don't even. That's its own
Oh,
movie. It's outside of
Okay.
the Millennium
Okay.
series. Yeah.
Like,
You know that. Come on. Come on,
okay. I mean, I'm just trying to let them know that just in case you don't get the hate mail that I got to sift through. Like, he said it, not me.
man.
I love the Millennium series.
Uh, and again, if you enjoy Kaiju Live, we also have a Patreon, and want to thank everyone that has participated in that. It's awesome. It really is awesome. So thank you to everybody, and forgot my own call out. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? I don't even know what it is. I think it's like and subscribe and be on the lookout for more content from Kaiju Live. Have a great night, everybody.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Peace. We did it.